So how do we determine the sign values of our trig functions in each of our four quadrants? Because remember that our values repeat, but with different signs. So how do we determine what sign they have? Sine of t is our y value. Cosine of t is our x value. Tangent of t is y over x. We know that cosecant of t is 1 over y. Secant of t is 1 over x. And tangent of t is x over y. So we know that these two are always going to have the same sign. These will always have the same sign. And these will always have the same sign. Because it doesn't matter if our positive and negative numbers on the bottom or top, those y and 1 over y will have the same sign. And so will x and 1 over x, and y over x and x over y have the same sign. So in this first quadrant, we have positive x and positive y. So in quadrant 1, if y and x are both positive, that means that all of my trig functions will be positive. So over here we have all positive. Then in quadrant 2, we have positive y, but we have negative x. So we know that sine and cosecant are positive because we have positive y, but cosine and secant, which have our x, are going to be negative. And then for tangent, we have a positive divided by a negative, which is negative. And cotangent, we have a negative divided by a positive, which is negative. So over in the second quadrant, only sine and cosecant are positive. In the third quadrant, we have negative x and negative y. So that means that we are going to have sine and cosecant and secant are all going to be negative. So all of these are negative. But when we have negative divided by negative in the case of tangent, or negative divided by negative in the case of that should be cotangent, then we get a positive. So here we have tangent of t and cotangent of t are positive. And what about in the fourth quadrant? So that was the third. In the fourth quadrant, we have positive x, negative y. So that means, let's clear some space over here, that in the fourth quadrant, my sine and cosecant are going to be negative. My cosine and my secant only involve x, so they're going to be positive. And then a negative over positive and positive over negative gives me negative. So in the fourth quadrant, we have cosine of t and secant of t are positive.